Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about Inu-Oh, which was a recommendation from the man, the myth, the legend, CJ from Anime Anonymous. Very much appreciated, dude. I really enjoyed this week's choice. I'm not sure about Rick, but we'll soon find out. If you want to check out their review, I will have a link for it in the show notes for you, and go check them out as well. They're a great podcast. CJ and his wife, they do it every week. It's really wonderful. Sometimes yours truly appears on there, just like sometimes he appears on ours, and you know, it's a mutually friendly and wonderful fun time, no matter who appears on whose. Again,
highly recommend. Great person. Great people, I should say.
Great people. Great podcast. Check them out. But before that, we were talking about, actually, it was just me ranting and complaining and moaning and groaning about everything else and whatnot. And if you want to hear a part of that conversation, go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month to gain you access to that bonus content. If you want to also support us through other means, we do have a shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. And of course, all the other information and everything like that is available on our website, featuredanimepodcast.com. Go ahead and reach out to us. You can also email us at info@featuredanimepodcast.com if you want to contact us directly. Before I dive into this week's choice, I want to take a moment and invite everyone to experience Japan from the comfort of their own homes through Tokyo Treat snack boxes. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jack. What is Tokyo Treat? And are their snack boxes really delicious? And the answer to the first question is, well, Tokyo Treats is a fun and exclusive Japanese snack box featuring unique and exclusive flavors from all around Japan. Each box is filled with a variety of full-size, fun, and exclusive Japanese snack items, like limited edition Kit Kats, unique flavored Japanese chips, and occasionally Japanese soda that are only available in Japan for a limited time. Now, also, every box comes with a cultural guidebook containing information about Japanese culture, an explanation on each snack, how they would taste, and ingredients and allergen information, so that way you aren't eating something that you really honestly shouldn't be eating. You know, especially if you have some allergies, you don't want to eat something that you shouldn't be eating. So having that information readily available is really great to have. But also, it tells you about the month's theme. And every month, Tokyo Treat has a different theme, usually aligning with a season or a holiday or promoting certain Japanese cultural celebrations. Now, what this month's theme is the Moon Fest Nectacular, or also known as the Tsukumi, right? Now, the seasons are changing and Japan's lunar party, or Tsukumi, is almost here. And the moon viewing, or Tsukumi, is all about having a blast with your family and enjoying delicious seasonal treats. So dive into the fun and savor all the tasty, exciting Tsukumi-inspired snacks in this month's Tokyo Treat box. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jack, you told us about Tokyo Treat, but you didn't say anything about whether or not the treats are delicious. Well, I'll tell you this right now. The treats are really delicious. I love them. You have the Kit Kat matcha in this month, along with Golden Moon Senbei, but you also have the Banana Castella and Premium Black Thunder Butter flavor, which was honestly delicious, along with the caramel popcorn and the Crunky Cookie Ball. Honestly, delicious. I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. And there's plenty of other snacks that are in there. I promise you all of them are going to be delicious beyond belief, and you will like every single one of them. And so, special for our listeners, if you use our affiliate link in the show notes, along with coupon code Featured Anime, you get $5 off that very first box. Again, special for our listeners only. With the affiliate link in our show notes, along with coupon code Featured Anime, you get $5 off that very first box. And now, on to the main show. And now, on to the meat and potatoes. Inu-Oh is a movie that came out in May 2022. Producer for our Asmik Ace and Tohokushinsha. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm horrible with it. I'm sorry. It's another producer that's out there. Science SARU is another one that is for the studio. It's based off of a novel. Its genres are fantasy historical music, and it ran for an hour and 37 minutes.
Yeah, about.
Somewhere abouts there. Basically, the story follows Tomanu and Inu-Oh through their lives, kind of cookie cuttery paste all the way throughout their entire livelihood and everything having to deal with it. It is centered around storytelling and the telling of stories and how the feudal era during particular times are basically told through song and dance to tell the stories of the warriors and the battles and everything like that. So think of it as a form of news or history that is being told from a very particular viewpoint. Well, Inu-Oh wanted to tell the stories, and he's been plagued with this horrible curse since the day he was born. And you find out how he was plagued with this curse from the time he was born. And he tells all these stories about all these lost warriors and all these battles that have taken place that people had no idea about, thus relieving him of his curse.
Yeah.
It's the basic premise of it. It's the general ideology behind it. I mean, like, there's a lot more that goes into this, obviously. So the anime really kind of starts off with the main character saying, or not the main character, with a character saying that the story of Inu-Oh is not widely told or known about, that his life is largely lost to history and everything like that. And honestly, that is actually 100% true. There is a man who was known to be a great performer, and these tales are supposedly the Lost Heki clan tales and everything like that for him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I
thought this was just a fiction. I didn't realize it was based off of potential history.
Oh, it's based off of a small potential history. That is for sure. However, the amount of information that's actually known, he was a theatrical performer in the 14th century. He was highly regarded in the shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu. He was actually very popular, very widely known. After he died, that was it. Like, aside from him living, and we know that he lived during this time frame, after he died, his life and everything was just like he was largely forgotten. His life and performances, not a lot of people know about it, so that's why this is largely a fictional story foretold about it.
Did I hear you correct? And when you said Yoshimitsu, like the Tekken character?
Well, probably, yeah. Yoshimitsu, yes.
That would be kind of cool if they used that, because Yoshimitsu is my favorite character. I know I'm sidetracking, but that'd be a really awesome.
Yeah, because totally,
kind of
totally, everyone has has unique names, and only family lines all share one unique name throughout.
Well, no, I'm just saying, it makes sense because he's a very fanciful character to play, and in the movie, there's very fanciful moves that are inhuman almost. Well,
right.
Several are inhuman. But
okay. So when I said that is not his name. All right. Okay. I'm not sure why you went with that, but that is not his name.
I misunderstood because I thought you were saying like his list of titles and stuff like that. And again, Yoshimitsu came through and I'm like, hold on. And it triggered a memory of mine. I'm like, wait a second. I tried to focus in on that and it didn't come back up. So I just wanted to verify because it'd have been cool. It would have been cool. It's a shame that I was wrong. But anyway.
Yeah. It's anyways, the general story of it is like he did exist at one time or another. All right.
Okay.
To sum it up, not much is known beyond that, but he did exist at one point or another. Okay.
There once was a tale and he was alive. A lot of this movie is singing, and I watched it in an English dub. I also watched it subbed. And in both instances, the singing was left as with the original. And it was very rock and roll-esque. It was very entertaining. The visuals that went alongside it, stunning. The initial part of the movie, the part of the movie that was about maybe 15 or so minutes
right
in the beginning.
I'm sorry. I know I'm going to backtrack here. When I was when I said the Shogun, I was saying the Shogun's name, not the dancer's name. You do know that, right?
Inu-Oh is the dancer's name?
Inu-Oh is the dancer's name. The Shogun, the ruler, the guy who said, "Hey, you have to only dance for me now," is Shogun.
Yeah.
Shogun Yoshimitsu did not dance.
Oh, that's where the connection was. I'm like, I know what a shogun is. Like, okay. Yes. So the shogun was Yoshimitsu. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that knocks my theory way out the water then. It doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
So, moving on. No, I appreciate the clarity because I was still trying to rationalize where Yoshimitsu would come into that and why it would be even listed, but it makes a lot of sense if it's the key shogun that decided that, hey, one story and one story only.
Yeah.
Anyway, Inu-Oh is very fanciful, very, very visually confusing at first. My wife and I were watching, and I couldn't quite pinpoint why it looked so odd to me. And then she goes, "It's like they're painting, but it's anime. Like every frame is a new, like an oil painting of some kind. So it's abstract." I go, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of a traditional animation style, which it eventually turns into and evolves into, initially it's very, very Renaissance, if you will, very picturesque. Yeah. Visually, it was really nice. Regardless, they put a lot of effort in this, and there was a lot of talent. But I was distracted by the confusing images before the story actually picked up,
Yeah, no, I know. And honestly, that's one of kind of the enduring things is the difference they show. And it's not that they show one art style more than the other. What they do is they blend them together kind of neatly. And so what they do is you have one of our main characters, Tomona, and you see the world through his eyes, so to speak, in a matter he's blind mostly, and
he becomes blind.
Yeah. And what ends up happening, what I find really, really cool is that when he hears music or sounds in general, that's when he's able to see, and in his own mind anyways, and it paints in such a particular way how everything is seen is really unique and very well done. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of Daredevil.
Yeah, I kind of saw it as an echolocation kind of thing, but in this particular case, it felt to me like he wasn't seeing the sounds so much as he was seeing the spirits resonating with the sounds. And he saw curses isn't the right way to put it, but it feels correct. Because
you're talking about the spirits?
Yeah, mainly the negative ones, because he had different colors he could see. He saw red, he saw purple, he saw green, blue. His father spirit was white mostly.
Right,
but he came in crystal clear.
He didn't see all the spirits, and they only showed the spirits when was talking about it and enveloped it and heard about it, because he didn't see any of the other spirits, and he had to reference his father and talk to his father.
Well, see, I know when he asked his father, they all became visible, yes, but do you remember when he first met
if it
Inu-Oh?
Was to him or to just Inu-Oh. And I am assuming because
that's possible.
Inu-Oh was the one that said, "Oh, that's what all those are. That's what it is. That's what I'm possibly hearing all the time."
Yeah,
right? Because Tomona didn't understand or didn't know. He only saw the one, which I want to point out. They really put an emphasis on your ancestors being able to find you and your family and friends being able to find you based on your name when they're in their spirit form, and that they're only able to easily find you if you keep your name the same as what it was when they were alive. If you change it after they die, it makes it so that they can't, or it's hard for them to find you.
Correct.
Look, that wasn't a question. That was a statement.
No, I apologize. Yes. No, I was saying correct because in the movie he changes his name twice. Now, what's interesting to me, the reason why I keep bringing it up, him seeing spirits and whatnot, is he saw the dogs. He saw the dogs were blue, if my memory serves, and Inu-Oh was purple. And he saw the outlines and he saw their spirits, but he didn't see the details.
Right.
So that's what I mean. Like he saw like
he saw some living things. He saw some aspects of it. The details of it all are irrelevant of the matter.
When the blind man was singing, he saw red.
Yeah.
And he was able to locate things via, and I assumed it was all spiritual because they were singing about the past. They were singing about the stories and whatnot. And that became a big fuel factor, let's call it, for Inu-Oh. So I assumed, maybe I was wrong, but I assumed what he saw wasn't necessarily the sound. It was the spirits, I guess, not becoming alive, but going to their rest, so to speak.
Yeah.
Empowering the voices to sound more appealing and attract more of an audience, so their story was told.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I mean, that's fair. No, you don't have to agree with it.
No, and the reason why I say I don't agree with it is because what the dog barking wasn't telling a story. It was a dog barking. So that kind of throws that particular portion of the theory out the window. Oh, it's these spirits that are being placed to rest and blah 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 blah. The dog
barking, yes.
That
I'll give you that. It's a bit odd, but
right. And then again,
I assumed because
when
the dogs,
Inu-Oh was first introducing himself and talking and dancing. Again, he wasn't singing. He was just dancing and having fun, and his spirit was there.
Mm-hmm.
Even before he started doing that, though, he saw the spirit there. I do agree that he did see the spirit or forms of it in a form of echolocation. However, it's not that he could see all the spirits in and of himself, because there were a lot of other spirits there and a lot of other things going on there that he didn't see.
Correct. And the dad mentions that they're all around when he starts to focus, and then it becomes apparent to us, the viewer.
Right.
But no, I just assumed, and it probably incorrectly, that Inu-Oh, meaning you said the dog king or something like that, because he was around the dogs and he lived with the dogs, that they kind of fed off of one another and with one another, so to speak. And the spirits... He named
himself that because he was basically fed and treated like a dog.
Yeah, with
and
the
so
dogs.
He named himself that as kind of a stab at his family.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that he named himself that because he felt a kinship towards it, and see, again, it's me inferring a lot of stuff, because he started dancing and all of a sudden he was able to get spirits to pay attention to him and turn him into something more than a deformed demon, essentially. This malformed husk of a living being. And for some reason, I thought it was like a symbiosis kind of thing, of where he was with the dogs, and because he lived with the dogs, he kind of fed off of them, that kind of thing.
Well, he didn't literally feed off of them. He just hung out with them and ate from the same bowl they did. It's
true, but I mean spiritually.
That's a stretch, but you're welcome to it. I don't know how he would feed off the dogs. You only see very few. There's like a couple of interactions that he had with the dogs. Other than that, he's running along building tops. And this ain't Naruto. He ain't running along building tops with dogs.
No, he wasn't. But he started dancing, and that's when the spirits came to him, and he was able to absorb them and change his physical appearance.
It's not that he's being absorbed. He's absorbing spirits. We don't know what's going on.
So
we don't know what's going on, right? We don't know if he's absorbing spirits or if a curse is being lifted. It's referenced as a curse. It's talked about as if it's a curse, and they do say that the curse is lifting, and that is a hypothesis for them. But you and I, we don't know. It's all you know is that the deformities, the more he sings, the more he dances, and particularly when he tells a specific tale, That's when a change happens.
Now,
Not all the time. Not all the time.
No, I agree. Not all the time, but usually in a big performance when he's telling a story of multiple people, like large changes happen and stuff like that. Now, do you think that's parts of his curse being removed?
Yes.
Okay. So I can agree with that. In what manner are they being removed? Like how does it happen?
What do you mean?
First,
he
I don't
grew
want
his
to get
legs
too
to
far into the spoiler realm of it because it's a big part of it,
right?
About how he was born and whatnot,
right?
But I assumed that what happened to him before was being undone because he had. I assumed he was reabsorbing these energies in the form of spirits resting, so to speak. Like he told their story, now they're at peace, and they give him, they absorb themselves into his body, and in doing so, remove a portion of his curse.
Sure, why not?
Like that's how it made sense to me. Like
okay, why not? Sure.
So
why not? All I'm gonna say is we agree on that a curse is being removed or lifted or changed. And that's the basis of it. Different. It's like the manner in which it's being done. We have different views on it. And neither one of us know exactly what the hell's going on, though, because they don't go into great details about it. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I mean, like, am I wrong in that am I wrong in that assessment?
I think we know what happened to make him like that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say we don't know what happened to make him like that. I'm saying we agree with the fact, 1, that he is cursed. 2,
okay,
the curse is lifting, and the manner in which it's being lifted and the details for which it's being lifted, we differ on, but we can agree that it's being lifted in some manner or form.
Okay, in some manner or form.
Right?
Okay.
Right? So we can agree on those two things, right? One is a curse, and 2, in some manner, form, or whatever, it is being lifted or changed or modified.
I would go with changed more than lifted.
Okay. Because I'm going to go with lifted. You're going to go with changed. We both know it's cursed, and that's what we're going with. We have CJ in our chat. He says he interpreted the curse was both Inu and the warriors together. So when they were getting their story told, it heals them and him. Heals them in the sense of put to rest.
Putting them to rest.
Yes, which I would agree. I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. Right. So
that's a third way to look at it. That also seems to be correct.
Right. So again, it's we don't have to. You don't have to like try and convince me. We ain't gonna agree. just I am trying really hard, Rick. Just common ground, bro. Common ground.
Okay.
Common ground. Can we agree on those two things? Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
I just think I'm right about other things too, which sucks because I want to convince you so bad, but if I do,
What? No, you're not going to be able to convince me because I fundamentally disagree with what you're saying. I watched the movie just like you. I saw the exact same just like you. I fundamentally disagree with some of what you're saying. I am not trying to convince you otherwise. I am simply saying, can we agree on these two things? It's not that you're right. It's not that I'm right. We have a different viewpoint. It's not that CJ is right. It's that he has a different viewpoint.
Okay.
All right. The nuance, I agree with CJ, the nuance really isn't needed. And it's true. It doesn't need to be needed. The details of it are not important. We agree on the core aspects of it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That being said, I loved... Huh?
Say, why does that frustrate me so much?
Because I have been pushing you to move past stuff and find equal ground and just like move on, and you're like, no, I know I'm right. And I'm just like, I really don't care. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's this is all a difference of opinion. It's all a viewpoint, man. This is, it don't matter. The details, the finer details, the nuance details, the semantics, the technicality at the end of the day don't matter, bro. They don't.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
What I do like, what I find really interesting is that Tomona was a rock star in the 14th century. They were like totally rocking out, dude. I mean, like, granted, the pyrotechnics that were there were pretty extravagant, and everything that was going on for the stories and what was happening and the stories, how they were being told and everything, was like way out there, man. It was far out. I enjoyed it though.
Absolutely.
It was
a good 20%, maybe 30% of the movie, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It was magnificent. The lighting show, the pyrotechnics, you and I both know. I would be surprised if they pulled that kind of stunt off way back in the day, right? In the 14th century, if they had that kind of light show, lighting effects, and all that other stuff going on.
Witchcraft. They would think it's witchcraft, sorcery.
Who the hell knows, right?
It was so cool though.
It was awesome. This is amazing. That's what I thought. And it was amazing. The stories that they told and how they did it, the intricacies of it was great. The fact that when he changed or had the curse lifted, when he changed, it didn't bar him from being able to functionally tell a great story, right?
If anything, it improved it,
right? What's great too, and one of the things I found really, really cool was Inu-Oh never told the same story twice. He told unique stories, and that was something that was very particular about it, and that they talked about and referenced, in that he really kind of like, hey, this, you have to, for the rock concert and everything that everyone's going around singing about eventually, is that, hey, these performances, these shows are one and done, not ever being told again.
Super big draw.
Right?
Got what, maybe 1,000 total people at one point in time to see the show.
Oh yeah, probably although probably more, maybe less. Who knows?
No, it was really, really cool. The way that the show kind of kicks off and the dance moves, right? They were very, rock star-esque, and then Michael Jackson showed up in there for a little bit, it felt like, as far as the dance moves goes, and it was very innovative, and I feel like it makes sense to me that the reason he couldn't do it more than once is he told the story.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to give the story to disservice. So when he went to the other spirits and they told him the new stories, that's why he could never truly repeat it.
Well, not only that, I think that was like, you kind of figured out, I was like, I have to tell each one all of their stories to have this completely lifted, because he even says that if I tell all of their stories, maybe this will all be completely done. And that's what ends up happening.
Yeah. Dude, it was so awesome. Like the way that the animators got the audience involved was just pure gold. They were dancing, they were hopping around, they were just, it felt like a real concert.
They did, but
they cured people.
They cured people.
Sadness.
Cured people of sadness. Apparently, there was and CJ even pointed out, I mean, like, there were people that were in wheelchairs and with crutches, and they started dancing and break dancing and hooting and hollering and popping and locking and everything like that. It was like, bro, what is happening here? Like, what is going on? It was amazing. The whole thing was just truly amazing. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it greatly. It was just one of those movies where it's just good old fun to watch. You just enjoy it. It's like one of those delicious once in a while treats that you get to have.
Well, yeah. Most of it was. There were some areas that were hard to watch. So it was a nice mix. There was definitely a few areas that you were watching and it makes sense how the show's going, and they're energetic, they're entertaining, they're enthralling. They're definitely there for a good show. And then to contrast that, possibly to make the other ones better, there was mutilation. I couldn't really explain why there was a sword that kept bleeding. I don't know why they kept referencing that. Maybe but there was a few other instances that were they weren't graphic, but they were disturbing. Like crabs with the weird looking evil faces, and then a sword that, again, it bled. And then there was the initial sword that made him blind that cut his father in two somehow and released a massive, I don't know, elliptical of light around him.
Right,
He obviously blinded him and cut his father in half, but
yeah, it's one of the god weapons or whatever, and it's supposed to.
We never hear about it again.
It's more than likely sealed away because of how powerful it is.
It was sealed to begin with.
Yeah, but it wasn't sealed within the shogun's control, and that's the whole purpose of them getting it, is for the control.
Okay.
As far as the other thing, as far as the sword bleeding, it's the dead spirits kind of aching to be told and released of their status, so to speak. You know, they
okay, the musicians that were originally killed
along with the spirits that were finally going to have their stories told, because that's what those stories were. Or not those stories. It was Inu-Oh's father was the one telling those stories. However, not all of them were told because the shogun wanted to control the story that was being put out there. So he only allowed certain stories to be told. And I think those priests were going to tell all the other stories.
Okay. They were going to tell the other stories and take business away from him, essentially.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, without getting into too many spoilers, I don't really have much more. What about you? Do you have more? Do you have other talking points you can think about?
No, nothing that I really want to kind of dive into and go into. I will say that this is a great show to watch. It is definitely well worth the watch for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Or not show, but movie. The artwork is really well done. The music is great. The artwork having to do with everyone is just truly amazing and tantalizing in and of itself.
I agree with that 100%.
So on a scale, because it sounds like you're ready for a rating, sir.
Well, no, I mean, there's so much more to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Because the only other things I can possibly think about that might be interesting to know about the movie the podcast would render the movie irrelevant to watch.
Not necessarily.
Other than just for pure pleasure.
Right. Yeah. And this is a movie you could honestly watch for pure pleasure. It is really well done. The stories that are told in there are really well done. The journey for him are, again, really well done.
And if you want to watch it dubbed or subbed, either way, the voice actors are on point in my mind.
Yes.
They're very good. So you're not going to lose anything by watching it dubbed versus subbed.
Correct. I agree. Not correct. I agree. It's real, and the music also is well done too, with the artists and everything, and the music. It's great.
Oh yeah,
it's great. It's a fun time. It's a fun
getting
movie
an
to watch.
electric guitar back there. It's great. Yeah, no.
Even though it's not,
I would recommend it.
Even though there's no electric guitar, but that's beside the point. It's all right. I forgive them for their transgressions.
They got really fancy with it.
They did. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. So on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
I would give this a solid 9. And the reason is the music not only fit, it was very entertaining. It was very pleasurable. It's catchy enough that it's catchy and long enough that you could like start to sing to it because the chorus comes back a few different times. It's upbeat enough that it keeps your interest. And I feel like it's a good story with a good message. The reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because there are a few areas here that I wasn't expecting. Kind of shocked me out of my good feeling, you know? So,
okay.
They're needed, in my mind, they are needed to make the show, to progress the show, to give it purpose. I just wasn't expecting again, it wasn't graphic. It was just disturbing. And who knows? Maybe it's just because of where I'm in my life. But yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 9. What about you?
Okay. I'm going to give it a 9 because it was enjoyable. It was fun to watch. The ending left it a little lackluster for me personally. And the animation kind of lost me there at the very end as well. Especially for the build up for the big reveal, so to speak, where you just kind of like, I feel like they could have done more with that, personally. But it is great. It is a ending that, I mean, like, it kind of closes it off, and it ends it. So that's a positive.
Yeah.
That's about it. It just kind of
like
ends.
it ended on a happy note.
It ends on a happy note, but it's like it ends.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over, type of thing. It kind of leaves you a little bit lackluster for it. So, all right. So, next week we're gonna be talking about Spy Family Season 1, which was a recommendation. Actually, believe it or not. I mean, like
I believe it.
It's been on a recommendation for a very, very, very long time, by none other than Angel, who also recommended Tokyo Revengers. Nice. Yes. So, yeah. I mean, like, they sent a lot of recommendations for us to watch, a lot, like with a lot of other people. We've slowly been making our way through it. We'll eventually get through the whole list. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll figure that out later.
Well, with any luck, the list will just keep growing. But yeah, we'll keep hacking at it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So if you feel like we got something right, something wrong, did it too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know. All our contact information's in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. Go ahead and reach out to us. Let us know. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick. And we'll see you next time.